the addition of the Grand Exchange and item flipping, I now had more money than I'd ever had before, so buying expensive items was fresh and exciting. On New Year's Day 2009, I decided to spend a good chunk of money to acquire a green party hat, but this picture's interesting for more than just that. Wealth transfer limits were still in effect at this time, which meant that players could only transfer a limited amount of money to other players depending on how long they'd been friends and how many quest points they had. So, to get around these trade limits, items had a market value that differed from their Grand Exchange value. At this time, green party hats were crashing pretty hard, and valued at around 80 or 90 mil market value, but their Grand Exchange value was still around 115 mil. The only junk item I had was a single animal mask, so I decided to bite the bullet and overpay for the party hat. Luckily for me though, party hats started going up in price just a couple months later. I targeted high-end weapons and armor when flipping. Sometimes I get really lucky with people who didn't understand how the Grand Exchange worked, and I'd instantly buy an item for 5% under its value. I had always wanted to get 99 farming, but it took so long that I had to find something to do between farming runs. I heard that prayer was really fast if you bought dragon bones and used the gilded altar, so I made a goal of getting 99 farming and prayer at the same time. Turns out the rumors were true. Turning prayer was ridiculously fast, and it took me about 2 weeks to get from level 77 to 99. As soon as those two skills were finished, I moved on to another one of my favorites, runecrafting. I decided to train through the ZMI and also offer double nature and assists each day for that extra 30k experience boost. At the time, these two were the fastest possible experience. On July 8th, Jagex released Mobilizing Armies, which was a minigame that also brought a bunch of changes to the game. Perhaps the biggest change this minigame introduced was the notion of titles. Depending on how much you played Mobilizing Armies, you could earn the titles Junior Cadet, Sergeant, Commander, and War Chief. Titles are, of course, much more commonplace in Runescape today, but upon their first release they had some pretty finicky behavior. For example, if I right-clicked to report someone with the title, the box would fill with the entire name, including the title, despite it being way too long. On that day, the default font of RuneScape also changed, and it had its own host of problems, such as the 0 and 8 characters looking almost identical. As my YouTube videos became more popular, I started advertising my clan chat and website, eventually building a small community called Skilling Spree. This had been one of my big goals since I started playing, and I was thrilled that it was coming to fruition. My clan chat became more popular and consistently had members in it, and every so often we'd play minigames or skill together. Unfortunately, like any community, it had its own problems. Many of the problems stemmed from the fact that I just couldn't play enough to moderate my clan chat and forums, and I was unable to create a good system for promoting others to be moderators. Accusations ran rampant about power abuse and unruly members, and I often took the coward's way out by avoiding the problem and pretending like everything was fine. So, if you were a member of Skilling Spree at this time, and were frustrated by my leadership, then I apologize. I wish I could have done better. As the year started coming to a close, I began working on one of my least favorite skills, mining. I had always hated the grind of the skill, but the release of the living rock caverns and concentrated gold deposits changed all of that. Now I could work on my homework and look at the screen every so often to ensure I was still mining and not getting killed. While making this video, I discovered that 2009 was a pretty pivotal year for me. In particular, most of the memories I have from this era have to do with maximizing skilling efficiency or making money, which is really pretty boring. Looking back, I wish I hadn't placed such an emphasis on these qualities because it effectively turned RuneScape from a hobby to an occupation. I mean, sure, it felt good to reach milestones in wealth or experience or fame, but those are really shallow accomplishments. My fondest memories of this game come from playing with friends and exploring the world. That's all for 2009. I got a lot of levels, a lot of money, and a little bit of fame. As a side note, hello, it's been almost 5 years since I made my last video. Since that time, I've gone to, attended, and finished college, earning a degree in computer science. I didn't play RuneScape for the majority of college, but that's something I'll go into in my future videos. So join me next time as I explore the year 2010. Thanks folks, take care.